Hey guys, Nick with Phone Arena here, and what I have with me is the new Sony Xperia Z2 tablet. This isn't just another Android slate. What I'm holding is the slimmest and lightest Android tablet on the market. It is not only thin and light, it is packed with some very powerful hardware, and on top of it all, Sony's latest tablet is water resistant. Could the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet be a match for Apple's latest and greatest, the iPad Air? Let's take a closer look. We have a few very good reasons to say that the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet right here is an engineering marvel. First of all, it is one of the very few tablets that are water resistant. The iPad Air, for example, is not. And second of all, it is the thinnest and lightest tablet on the market. It is even lighter than the iPad Air. As a result, it is easier to handle, be it in portrait or in landscape orientation, even with one hand. However, there is one thing that we don't quite like. That is the soft touch finish on the back. As you can probably see, it is like a magnet for fingerprints. The iPad Air may be slightly heavier than the Xperia Z2 tablet, but overall it is still extremely light for a tablet of this size. It has a few advantages over the Xperia Z2 tablet. For example, we find it better looking. It has sexier, slimmer bezels, which we quite like, and we're also very happy with its gorgeous aluminum shell. What's more, the iPad Air stands in a league of its own with its immaculate build quality. Now let's take a quick look around the sides of the Xperia Z2 tablet. On the top side we have a micro USB port and a micro SD card slot, both of which are protected by removable flaps which ensure the water resistance of the device. On the left side we have the power key and the volume rocker. Both of them are well exposed and very easy to find with your thumb. On the bottom side we have the 3.5mm headphone jack and the proprietary docking port. The iPad Air has its power key in the upper right corner, and really close to it are located the volume keys and the mute switch. Also on the top side we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. On the bottom of the device we have the lightning port. Keep in mind that this works only with Apple's proprietary lightning cable and won't work with a micro USB cable. Below the screen we find a physical home key. On the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet we have a 10.1-inch display with a resolution of 1920 by 1200 pixels. Now this isn't all that impressive. We've seen screens on tablets with much more pixels per inch than this, but still a pixel density of 224 ppi, such as the one produced by this particular screen, is sufficient for the needs of most users. Still, the iPad Air has the upper hand when it comes to pixel density. Its 9.7-inch Retina display has a pixel density of 264 ppi, which is why this display is capable of producing more detailed graphics compared to the screen on the Xperia Z2 tablet. Both these displays are built on IPS LCD technology, but there are some slight visual discrepancies between the two. For example, the display on the Xperia Z2 tablet has a color temperature that gets closer to the reference point of 6500 Kelvin, which means that it has a better representation of whites. The display on the iPad Air, on the other hand, has a slightly better color accuracy according to our measurements. But in reality, just looking at these two tablets just like this, it becomes clear that both these displays are perfectly suitable for any task, from watching movies and photos and playing games to reading articles on the internet. Android 4.4.2 KitKat runs on the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet with some modifications implemented by Sony. As is typical for Android, you're free to customize the interface in a way you wish with your own widgets, and you're even free to set your own color theme across the interface. The iPad Air is quite different. It runs on iOS 7, which is simpler, less cluttered, and the UI has these translucency effects implemented throughout. Overall, both systems have their strengths and weaknesses. Some might like the versatility of Android, while others will be very happy with the straightforward approach employed by iOS 7. In terms of hardware, with the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet, You get one of the fastest mobile system-on-chip solutions that are available right now. That is the Snapdragon 801. It can run at up to 2.3 GHz, it has a quad-core CPU at its disposal, a very fast GPU, and as you can see it handles the UI quite smoothly, and it will run any 3D game, and it will decode any Full HD movie that you throw at it. And what's even more, there are 3 GB of RAM inside this device, which explains why multitasking is really smooth. On paper, the iPad Air might seem inferior to the Xperia Z2 tablet. Its CPU has a lower clock speed, it has less RAM, but in reality the tablet just flies with any task, and it is perfectly capable of handling any heavy 3D game that is available in the Apple App Store. Overall, we doubt that anyone will be disappointed by the flawless performance of these two devices. Chrome is the web browser that comes preloaded on the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet. It gets the job done really well, it is very smooth, and it handles even heavy web pages such as ours with ease. You get tabbed browsing, and Chrome can also synchronize your bookmarks and data across devices. On the iPad Air you get Safari, which is also really fast. In fact, we have a feeling that it's even slightly faster than Chrome running on the Z2 tablet. Again, you have the option to have your tabs sort up here at the top, and Safari can also synchronize your bookmarks and data with the cloud. There's an 8-megapixel Exmor-R camera on the back of the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet, and the iPad Air has a 5-megapixel iSight camera. Unfortunately, both of these cameras lack an LED light. Here we have Sony's camera interface. It is pretty straightforward to use, but at the same time you get a number of cool features along with it. For example, by default you shoot in auto mode, which takes care of adjusting the image and camera settings for you. But if you want to, you may switch to manual and have more access to some more advanced camera settings. Here in this menu you also get access to some cool effects such as the background defocus and the set of augmented reality effects. You also have access to a burst mode and sweep panorama. And this is the camera interface on the iPad Air. It is much simpler to use, but unfortunately you don't get much access to any advanced features. The only advanced feature that you have at your disposal is the built-in HDR mode. Surprisingly, the 5-megapixel photos taken with the iPad Air might look slightly better than the 8-megapixel photos taken with the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet. It might have only 5 megapixels to work with, but the detail is more natural compared to the detail in the photos by the Z2 tablet. On the other hand, the photos by the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet have much less digital noise present in them. If you often find yourself listening to music from your tablet or mobile device, chances are you'll be happy with the front-facing stereo speakers that are built into the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet. Here we have the music player of the device, and to tell you the truth, it's really close to perfect. It has a beautiful interface and any feature that you would expect to get out of a mobile device music player. And here we have the music player on the iPad Air. Again, it has a very clean, very intuitive interface, and it's pretty easy to use. What's more, you get iTunes Radio, which will stream music from the internet, curated lists of popular tunes at no charge. In conclusion, there's quite a lot to like about both the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet and the iPad Air. Both are well worthy of being called high-end tablets. The Sony Xperia Z2 tablet is resistant to water and surprisingly light, as you will instantly tell the moment you pick it up. While we really love the build quality of the iPad Air, it is clearly the better looking tablet of the two. All that said, both devices are really worth picking. Both are a combination of great hardware with excellent software, and chances are that whichever of these two you pick, you won't be disappointed. Thanks for watching our comparison between the Sony Xperia Z2 tablet and the iPad Air. For more details about these two great tablets, just visit our website phonearena.com.